So I've personally, since a child, I've always looked towards the people that I encountered and thought, what can I take from them? What can I use in this conversation that they're that I'm having with them? I want to have this conversation with them just to see, okay, well, what decision did you make that got you into this position? So I know to avoid it. What decision did you make so that I know not to follow this same path that you did, and I know to take the opposite path? So we have to truly utilize the world that we're surrounded by, and pay attention to what's going on and apply it to yourself to become the best you, the best version of you. This is
A lot of
king.
people aren't smart like that though, Viz. That's a very intelligent method that you use, a process of elimination to avoid pitfalls. For instance, if you know that you can lose your driver's license, then you might not want to drink and drive. If you know what I'm saying, that you can die from HIV and you can only contract HIV, well, not only, but typically contract HIV with unprotected sex, then you either abstain from sex or you wear a Jimmy hat. But a lot of people don't, they're not as bright and as intelligent and utilize that reverse thinking like you do.
Shan, you know what helped me? I don't know if y'all remember this, but it was like 9 o'clock every night when BET Uncut was about to come on. That AIDS commercial popped up, and that was right around the time when you would be getting action
every time.
And that shit popped up every day. I was like, oh yeah, I wore rubber all the time based off of that shit.
Hey, but Shan, that goes back to what old boy was trying to say, as if it was a bad thing, of holding a high expectation of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like there were people that believed in me, and the fact that they believed in me, I was forced. It was a constant reminder for me to continue to believe in myself and hold myself to a higher expectation. So if we make that the norm, that can change the tides.
You know, that takes a lot of responsibility too, though. So some of you guys know somebody who, whenever they get a modicum of success, they throw a monkey wrench in the process so they can go right back to where they were. Some people
self-sabotaging,
yeah. Some people operate well in poverty. It's like if they get a job, they're gonna screw that job up. They always screw the job up. They always are looking for another job somewhere. They always are getting fired. If somebody gets a car, they always blowing the engine or tearing up the brakes or tearing something up. Some people don't want the responsibility of maintaining a good car, maintaining a good job. A good job means I'm going to have money. Money means I got to be able to get my own apartment. That means I got to pay bills and do all of that. I'd rather be out here just screwing shit up. So I hear what you're saying, but a lot of people don't got they can't take the pressure like you, Viz. They can't take the pressure like you, Marcus. They don't want that responsibility, and so they will screw shit up when it gets good, just so they can, they can swim in mayhem, in calamity, and poverty,
somebody else,
in chaos. Some people operate in chaos and live their entire lives that way because that's just what they know, and they don't want nothing better for themselves.
Speaking of throwing a monkey wrench in your plan, did y'all see Queen of Kings go on that rant about the divested chick who had the white guy she was talking about?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that was wild. That was wild.
I went in the comments and I was like, hey, ladies, don't distance yourself from her now. Come on, sisterhood, stick with your girl.
Hey, but Shannon, the thing though is that this is King's talk, right? So if you want to live a mediocre life, if you want to live that type of lifestyle, if you don't want to achieve and become the best version of you, you're okay and content with where you are, then by all means, stay there. Just don't blame nobody else for it. All you can do is blame yourself.
No, they're gonna blame somebody else.
So I personally don't. I don't understand. I can't agree, and I get it. You know, we're in a time where we are more aware of feelings and emotions and all that other stuff, and you know, leading men with empathy, I think, has gotten us to the point where we are now, where, in my opinion, a lot of men are soft as fuck. That
Yeah.
this
But
concept that he's saying, in my opinion, is a very soft approach to manhood.
so Viz,
We talked
I
about the
disagree with
double
that.
standard earlier.
Wait, leading with empathy is
Empathy.
soft.
I disagree with that.
that's the
strongly.
understanding of it. Now, if he says sympathy, then I'll be like, all right, that's different. But empathy is just putting yourself in their shoes. That's like understanding their perspective more so when you speak about empathy.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of have to. I think it behooves us to, if we want to teach people, right? We have to, in order for us to effectively teach them, then we have to know what angle they're coming from, what position they're in, to better help them, right? If we know where they're coming from, like let's say we can relate to their background or relate to a situation they had, we'll be much more equipped to advise them on what they need to do next to get where they want to go.
Well, Trev,
And
what
I think
I
there's
think
no
that's what the
respect.
disconnect is.
There's no
let's
respect
hear.
without empathy. Like,
Well, wait, hold on, guys. Before Viz, so if you believe that empathy, leading with empathy and understanding where somebody's looking at it from their perspective, and then going from there, from understanding where he's coming from, is soft. What's the alternative? Give us what do you think, in your opinion, is a better way?
So I'm sure everyone has heard this before, but there's nothing new under the sun. So
Okay.
whatever it is that they are experiencing, whatever it is that the newer generation is experiencing now, we have experienced it to some extent.
Okay.
And that does not change the way that you go about to accomplish the goal. So I get it. Yeah, we can say, oh, well, I understand that this plays a part of it. I understand this plays a part, but that does not change the fact that you still have to achieve the goal. You still have to push through whatever it is, that whatever wall is up, whatever boundary, whatever glass ceiling is there, whatever the case may be. If that's there,
I think we're getting lost in translation. I hear what you're saying.
that
I
doesn't
think we're
sound
getting
like
lost in
empathy.
translation. I think that doesn't mean that you still can't be empathetic, though, Viz. So I hear what you're saying. Listen, suck it up and drive on. I know what you're going through. When I pledge my fraternity, one thing that we say is, it's hard but fair. Why is it hard? Because this shit is hard to do. Why is it fair? Because we all went through it ourselves. So if nothing new is under the sun, Viz, and you dealing with some shit that I dealt with, you could still drive somebody to excellence being empathetic. In fact, wouldn't your empathy give you more reason as to why you know what's best for that person?
That's fair. I'm only saying that because of the context of the previous things that he's saying. To me, it just seems as if he's creating excuses as to why we shouldn't hold people to a high standard. We shouldn't have a high expectation.
I knew we were lost in translation. You agree, ultimately. I see what you're saying.
This is me going off of what it is that he has previously said. So if he just recently said that we shouldn't be holding 20-year-olds to a high expectation, and then he follows up with it saying that that we need to lead with empathy, that to me, that sounds like some victim mindset.
All right, I want to respond to that, because like let's think about the difference between what you're saying and leading with empathy, right? Because empathy is understanding, putting your minds in the mind frame of a 20-year-old that makes mistakes, right? That has their whole life ahead of them, right? An entire life to go do better things. Empathy is saying, okay, we understand that this person may have made a mistake. But if I were that person and I had made a silly mistake like that, or any one of us had made a silly mistake like that, would we feel that the right just punishment would to have a label put on us that would ruin our potential to be better men and ruin our potential to have better lives? You get what I'm saying? Like I don't think the empathetic way would be, oh, nail him to the cross. Because like if we take that approach, then we would have to agree with the way police treat people, right? Because it's up, they acting up, shoot his ass. Why give him empathy? I think that when you give people empathy, you give them the opportunity to grow. You give them the opportunity to change. You give them the opportunity to be human. Like, we're all people at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, we all live here together. This entire
it's one of the reasons why, Clout, that we want police officers from our neighborhood to police our neighborhood.
Have empathy, but we want them to have empathy. We want them to see a young black kid and say, that could be my son making this mistake. That could be my son with his friends vandalizing this building. Maybe I shouldn't shoot him. Maybe I need to talk to him and find out what's going on. Oh, he talks to him. Damn, something's going on at home with his grandmother. This and that and that. This and that. Maybe the kid always wanted to be a police officer. Maybe now he could have a new role model as opposed to being shot. But that all comes from empathy.